Has Reo Hatate fulfilled his Celtic potential?
No, on what he could have
been.
I
think Reo Hatate.
No, on what he could have been, but for £1.4 million over 4.5 years, what he's won, some of the performances in the Champions League. I mean, people forget. You remember the bit of football and pass against young boys to get Adamida away to qualify Celtic for the last 24 against Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
And that's absolute genius. No one else at Celtic could have done that. And that team that played that night played well for Postecoglou in the Champions League. For £1.4 million, he's been a tremendous piece of business.
Listen,
has he fulfilled the potential of what he could have been?
No, I'm phrasing that wrong.
2-3 years ago, Reo Hatate to me had the ability to be the best footballer in Scotland. He could have been the best in Scotland. He could have run games. He was absolutely magnificent. For some reason, it's just no happened.
I phrased that wrong. I mean, what I mean is, has he fulfilled his financial potential?
10 times over. 10 times over.
No, I would argue. I remember after the treble season when he was up for he was a candidate for Player of the Year, Writers' Player of the Year, I think that year. And I think at that point in time, if he'd said to me, I think he'd have broken the Scottish transfer record. I thought he'll go for 25 plus, and now he'll probably go for about 3 or 4 or 5, maybe £5 million.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think value wise now?
Yeah, in terms of what Celtic could have gotten for him.
Yeah.
And no,
the chat back then about Brighton.
They're spectacular. What you had?
I think he would have been a potential.
His big friend was there, wasn't he? Matoma. Yeah.
I just think he'd be £20 million. He was a £20 million plus midfielder, and this season he's not.
I'll get 4 or 5 from other man.
Yeah, it's strange though when we spoke to him. Listen, you know yourself. In limited deal, he doesn't do a lot of press stuff. It's also been through an interpreter, obviously, as well. Quite a difficult chap to talk to. Not, I wouldn't say he's the most warm kind of character. I mean, we spoke to him last summer, and he said this is a big year for stuff, the World Cup, and he did say the right things, but he's not really cut it this year, has he? I mean, it's been too flaky. Had a good little burst of form during that period I was talking about, and then majorly dipped again. And Martin O'Neill clearly thought, I can't trust this guy for running. And it's a kind of sad end for him, really. If it's the end for him,
yeah, I think the way that I agree with you. I think the way Dizemeda was celebrated out the door, I think it's a shame that Reo Hatate was walking about rather disconsolate looking, wearing a suit, and as if he wasn't part of it. But listen, that's it. Ultimately, Martin O'Neill had to make ruthless decisions to get Celtic over the line, and Reo Hatate clearly wasn't doing what he wanted him to do or what he felt he could do.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, it's a shame. The thing about Reo Hatate is, to me, there was never any average displays from Reo Hatate.
No.
Reo Hatate was 6 out of 10. He was either a 9 or a 4.
Yeah.
It was a career that went up and down and up and down. So the highs were spectacular. I mean, no Celtic fan will ever forget the 2 goals he scored against Rangers. He was just in the door.
Yeah.
An incredible way to announce himself, and his Champions League goal. And was it Warsaw we were in, Michael, when he played Shakhtar Donetsk? I can't remember. Played brilliant that night when Celtic got their point away from home. The Real Madrid pass from him from the throw in. It was on UEFA websites. So he's pinged it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
But a tremendous player.
He's best. Best.
Not good enough times. That's the problem.
Weirdly, what makes him such a good player, it also makes him a frustrating player, because everything he does is a lot of his best stuff is off the cuff.
Yeah,
and it's a beat. It's like a beat too early or a beat late, and it means that the defenders and midfielders who are trying to anticipate him, they can't, because he's not quite what you expect at times. He plays a ball earlier than you think he's going to play it, or delays it. He's strong. I think I understand. I mean, Brendan Rodgers would probably hear it with him at times, because he didn't fit into the structure he wanted in terms of. I mean, Rodgers was a meticulous manager and coach. And Hatate was a bit of a maverick. And again, when Celtic had to kind of get back to basics towards the end of the season and just grind out results, there's no space for mavericks in there. There's no space for a guy who's trying to ping up.
But this is a great example. This is a great example of Reo Hatate infuriating inconsistency. You say grind, dig out results. 2 of Celtic's most horrible performances this season were in the second half of the season at Ibrox, where they dug out 2 results. And who was the main man both days?
Yeah, I know.
He comes off the bench at 2-0 down, and everybody lauds him for turning the game. Then he turns up the following week, having played in the midweek at Pittodrie as well. He then turns up on the following Sunday for the 0-0 draw and does an absolute dog shift.
Yeah.
Has to do every defensive job, cover, run, nothing like what his game's all about, and did it all brilliantly.
120 minutes.
120 minutes. I mean, if anything sums up Reo Hatate, that's it.
But then he also goes to Canadice.
He goes to Canadice 2 weeks later. It's absolutely awful.
And it's just, given the pitch wasn't great from that night.
Ends up getting launched to right back.
They end up 10 minutes out there. I don't think he looked particularly happy out there either.
No, it's interesting we didn't see him really again after that.
Well,
you wonder if something was said, mentioned. It'll all come out in the washes, is it?
It'll all come out in the books later on, or
probably come out in an interview in his homeland.
Obviously. Yeah, or in one of Martin O'Neill's future speaking to coming to a night near you.
Coming to a theatre there,
yeah.